So the Warriors are 3-1 since the Butler trade, and I think they're about to go on a crazy run. Let's get into it. What's good, y'all? We back at with another one. So the Warriors go into the All-Star break with a 28-27 record, 3-1 since the Jimmy Butler trade. By the way, should have been 4-0. We all saw it. The rest was cheating, bruh. I don't care what nobody say. That Gucci Mane looking ref, bro, that dude got something against the Warriors, man. Either he's just really terrible at his job and he's the worst ref in the league, or he always got money against the Warriors. And I'm willing to bet it's the latter. And that Mavs game frustrated me for multiple reasons. But we gonna get to that later, trust me. I wanted to kick this video off talking about Jimmy Butler's fit with the Warriors so far. So let's peep his stats in the Warriors uniform. So since the trade, Jimmy Butler's averaging 32.5 minutes per game, 21.3 points per game. He's shooting 45% from the field and 58% true shooting. He's averaging 10 free throw attempts per game, shooting 85% from the free throw line. 5.3 assists to only 1.3 turnovers per game. He's also giving you 7 rebounds per game and 1.8 stocks, which is blocks and stocks combined. So basically, he's averaging 21, 7, and 5 on 58% true shooting. And he's still not conditioned. Before the trade, he's only played a few games with the Miami Heat since January, considering the fact that he's still getting acclimated to his teammates and a new offense. And with all that being said, he's sleepwalking into these stats. He's been a seamless fit so far, and that's credit to his high IQ as a basketball player. As for my assessment 4 games in, I think this is as perfect of a fit that you could have possibly have asked for. He gives the Warriors exactly what they've been needing: a 6'7" power wing that plays with force getting to the rim, extremely physical, lives at the free throw line, also has counters in the mid-range, and he's an amazing playmaker. Essentially a 6'7" point guard on the court, which is something the Warriors have had in the past that's worked out well for him. Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston. But the difference is, along with that playmaking, Jimmy Butler's an elite shot creator, something Iggy and Sean Livingston never was. His game is a perfect contrast to Steph Curry, and now the Warriors have 2 players that can command a double team: Steph from the perimeter and Jimmy Butler on the inside. I think a stat that's really underrated is the fact that Jimmy Butler never turns the ball over. I mean, think about it. He's barely played organized basketball the past few months. He just got traded to a new team mid-season. He's acclimating to new teammates, a new offense, a new coach, a new system. Still trying to build chemistry, doesn't know any of the plays, and he's only averaging 1.3 turnovers per game to 5 assists. That's nearly a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. That's absolutely insane. The 7 rebounds. One thing about Jimmy is he plays big, not just offensively but defensively as well. He's extremely scrappy on the boards. And when the Warriors go to that small ball lineup with Draymond at the 5, you can count on Jimmy Butler at the 4 to box out and come up with the rebound. His ability to guard up and not just hold his own, but thrive at the power forward position. That's something the Warriors haven't really had with their small ball lineup in a while, on top of the fact that he's also a linebacker of the defense. Draymond said he talks so much defensively that he over-communicates. And Jimmy Butler is still one of the best off-ball defenders in the league. His anticipation as a playmaker off ball is insane, and it's an element to the defense the Warriors haven't really had. Alright, now let's talk about Steph Curry. In his last 4 games, in 35 minutes per game, he's averaging 31 points per game on 46% from the field, 40% from 3, and 64.5% true shooting. He's averaging 5.8 3-pointers made per game, 5.3 assists, and 5 rebounds, with a 10.5 net rating. Now, it's a few reasons Steph's been turned up these past 4 games. Number 1, he's playing inspired. Steph now has that belief that this team is talented enough to do something. Now, I'm not saying Steph wasn't playing as hard as he could before, but it's a difference between knowing you're not good enough and actually feeling like you have a chance to do something special. The Jimmy Butler trade made Steph Curry believe again. The second reason Steph Curry's been balling out is now he actually has a teammate that commands defensive attention. Just like Steph Curry opens the game up for all his teammates, Butler opens up the game for his teammates as well. He has gravity around the rim. When he's cutting to the basket, he's bringing extra defenders with him. When he catches the ball on the post, that extra defender's coming, especially if it's a mismatch with a small guy. When Steph and Jimmy run that 2-man action together, since Jimmy Butler's an elite shot maker and finisher, teams actually have to commit to him, which allows Steph to play one-on-one. And if he's playing one-on-one, that's barbecue chicken. Steph even said it himself, Jimmy Butler just makes the game feel easier. Scoring doesn't seem as hard anymore. Next up, let's talk about Brandon Podziemski. Fresh off getting inserted into the starting lineup against Houston, Poz had one hell of a game. And if you've been paying attention, Poz has been balling since he came back from his injury. In his last 10 games, Poz is averaging 29 minutes per game, scoring 14 points per game on 45.4% from the field, 33.3% from 3, with a 57.5% true shooting. He's also giving you 5.4 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 1.5 steals, with a plus 4.6 net rating. Now, obviously, that 3-point shot has to come up a little bit, but he's trending in the right direction. Poz earned his starting spot. He's the best option to have at shooting guard right now. And I get it, he might not look like it, but Poz has been a sneaky good defender until Kuminga comes back. He's probably the best option to have for point of attack defense on guards, excluding GP2, who just can't start on his team. Here's Steve Kerr on Poz starting.
I think Brandon has played so well over the last couple of weeks that I think he needs to be in that starting group now. He gives Steph another ball handler, decision maker. He makes a lot of plays out of nothing with his brain and his skill. So it was good to get him out there. I imagine he's going to be out there now, as a starter for a while. We'll see how it goes from here. We got JK coming back hopefully within a couple of weeks, so we always have options. But I think BP's got to be out there.
Steve just came in here and told us probably going to stick with you in the starting lineup for for a while. Does that change anything, how you approach the game? Does that matter to you? Like, how do you view that?
I mean, I just view it as a guard that needs to take out the other team's best guard. And so I knew today just my focus was on Jalen Green, just trying to take him out of the game, take him out of his rhythm. I think for the most part, me and the guys who guarded him did that. But that's just kind of what we need in that other guard spot with Steph. And so we know Jimmy is going to, help with the bigger wings, especially when JK comes back, he'll do the same. But who's going to be that guard that steps up and guards the other team's best guard? And so that'll just kind of be my mindset going forward.
I think Poz is benefiting a lot from the Jimmy Butler trade. Poz is at his best as a secondary ball handler. So now with Jimmy Butler in the mix, you're adding another ball handler plus elite shot creator for Poz to play off of. And now with 2 stars to play off of in Steph and Jimmy Butler, he's attacking off their advantages and scoring more efficiently. You also got to give him credit because he has improved offensively. Now he's taking and making his mid-range pull-up. He's learned a few crafty tactics in terms of drawing free throws, and his deceleration drives have been effective. Now again, the three-point shot isn't all the way there in terms of percentage, and he does pass up a lot of three-point shots still. But overall, his offensive game is trending in the right direction, and defensively, he does so many things in terms of forcing turnovers. He's still one of the best foul drawers in the league, which is a forced turnover. Even though a drawn foul doesn't show up in a stat sheet, it's essentially getting a steal. I say all that to say this. He took a lot of slack earlier in the season when he wasn't playing well, but now that he's playing amazing, keep that same energy. And I'm glad he's in the starting lineup now because I couldn't take Buddy Hield starting anymore. I swear, Steve Kerr loves him some Buddy Hield. Let's circle back to that Mavs game real quick because Steve Kerr had me hot, bruh. That Warriors L against the Mavs was 100% avoidable. Look, we all know Kyrie was getting his game off and the refs was cheating. I mean, you could play better defense on Kyrie, but he was on one that night. And as for the refs, what can you do, man? When they got money on the game, they got money on the game. But the one thing you can control, Steve, is rotations. Why is Buddy Hield playing 29 minutes per game? In a game, he went 1 for 9, scoring 3 points, and couldn't stay in front of nobody. This dude got absolutely sizzled by Kyrie all game, bruh. He ended the game at -21. And my thing is, if you're not hitting shots and you're getting destroyed on defense, why are you on the court? Why are you playing 29 minutes per game? Why did it take Steve Kerr so long to finally go away from him? Paz played 26 minutes that game. He's a +13. Guy Santos played 12 minutes that game. He was a +10. Moody played 28 minutes that game. He was a +8. That's 4 options that Steve had at his disposal that all played better than Buddy that game, and he still rolled with Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield on his best day is like an 8th or 9th man, bro. So with that in mind, number 1, you're starting him. Number 2, he's getting absolutely destroyed, and he's not contributing anything when he's not hitting shots, and you still played him 29 minutes. Why? Where's the adaptability to what you're seeing on the court, Steve? It was very telling that at the end of the third quarter, there was a group out there that was playing pretty good. So I was thinking to myself, Steve ain't gonna start the fourth quarter with Buddy Hield, right? He's been struggling up to this point. There's better options that are playing better. But of course, Steve Kerr, with his ultimate trust in Buddy Hield, had already predetermined, regardless of what he saw on the court, that he was gonna put Buddy Hield back in the game no matter what. An 8th or 9th man has that much leash, bro. The dude was a -21 in a game he lost by 4. Why is he on the court for 29 minutes, bro? Like, what are we doing here? And then on top of that, Steve Kerr didn't start doubling Kyrie until late in the fourth. Where was that strategy earlier in the game when Kyrie was getting off? Kerr even admitted post-game that he took too long to get the ball to Kyrie's hands. So that's my problem with Steve, man. The lack of urgency. Every single one of these games count. The Warriors should have easily been 4-0 since the Jimmy Butler trade. But anyways, man, let's talk about Jonathan Kuminga. First and foremost, let's see what Warriors owner Joe Lacob had to say about Kuminga's future with the team. Joe Lacob on whether the Warriors intend to re-sign restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga. Absolutely, Lacob said. 100%. Are you kidding me? I love that guy. We love him. So there you have it. The Warriors fully intend to re-sign Jonathan Kuminga. And the Warriors probably have a good idea of what Kuminga is going to command in restricted free agency. Probably something like $35 million a year, which almost certainly will make them a second April team. But it seems like Joe Lacob and the Warriors are comfortable with that. Now let's speak on the topic that I'm extremely intrigued by. The Kuminga-Jimmy Butler pairing on the wing. Here's what JK had to say about Jimmy Butler. Kuminga nodded in approval towards Butler after his recent bout in Chicago. I like that guy, he said. Butler's style of attack is particularly appealing to Kuminga because of his similarities to his own. Butler's a power wing who succeeds with constant force at the rim and a decent enough jumper to occasionally keep defenders honest. His shot diet, more than half of his attempts in the restricted area, a few mid-rangers and about 2 threes per game, is something that would seem to fit Kuminga at his best. It's great for us, Kuminga said. I think it's actually great for me. Being around him, trying to pick up some of the stuff he does, I feel like I see myself having a similar type of game. And here's what Butler had to say about Jonathan Kuminga. I figure we'll spend a lot of time together, Butler said to Kuminga. I would like to think I'll make his job a lot easier, and he'll also make my job easier. He's another individual they're gonna have to guard, they're gonna have to pay attention to. Then on defense, you get another quote-unquote MFer that can switch, that can challenge shots, that can get onto the open floor. Yo, I'm liking what I'm hearing. Jimmy Butler intends to mentor Kuminga, and JK already respects and looks up to Butler. Now I do think their fit might be a little clunky, but I also think they're going to figure it out. The main reason being, Jimmy Butler's a playmaker. He's an extremely intelligent player, and he's going to leverage the advantages he creates to get Kuminga open. Kuminga's now playing next to 2 stars that are both high IQ playmakers. They both draw defensive attention, and they're both going to make his life easier. Now, with all that being said, JK has to hit his corner threes. He has to. That's the only way these lineups are viable. But playing next to Steph and Butler, all Kuminga really has to focus on is cutting to the rim, running the floor in transition, knocking down his corner threes, attacking the rim off advantages, and punishing teams that try to hide small defenders on him. If he does all those things, he's going to sleepwalk into an efficient 17 points per game every night. The Warriors' offensive pecking order is established. Kuminga is now the unquestioned third option behind Steph and Butler, and now he has to worry about doing a lot less individual shot creation. He's going to be a high-level, extremely efficient play finisher, and trust me, he'll have his moments in the second unit where he's getting fed the ball. But playing next to Steph and Jimmy, his role is extremely simplified. As for his defensive role, he's going to strictly be point of attack, just seek and destroy. All Kuminga has to worry about is standing in front of his man and navigating screens. He now has two high IQ defensive sharks behind him. Lying back in the defense, Jimmy and Draymond has Kuminga's back. They will put him in position to succeed. Now let's talk about this playoff race. The Warriors are 28 and 27 with 27 games left to play. The goal is a 6th seed. Now that might be a little hard, but it is technically possible still. Taking a look at the standings, the Clippers are currently the 6th seed with a 31 and 23 record. They're 3.5 games up on the Warriors. Minnesota is 7th at 31 and 25. The Mavs are 8th at 30 and 26. And the Warriors are currently tied with the Kings at 28 and 27. I think the Suns are cooked. Their team is soft and their locker room chemistry is toxic. After they try to trade him, KD's definitely gone in the summer. So the Suns are in hell. I'm not even worried about them. Looking at the rest of these teams, I think the Warriors can hog down the T-Wolves at 7th. But 6 is the goal. Avoiding the play-in altogether is the ultimate goal, and I'm sure the Warriors are aiming for that too. They've dug themselves a deep hole, and this is why that Mavs loss is so frustrating, because the Mavs now hold the tiebreaker against the Warriors. So if they end up with the same record, the Mavs will have the higher seed. You can't drop games like that, bro. Come on, Steve, wake up, man. I think the Warriors come back from the All-Star break locked in. I think they're about to go on one hell of a run in the season, and I think they do end up getting that 6th seed. Hey, we'll see how it plays out. But anyways, that's all I got for y'all. If I entertained you or you learned something new, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. I'll hot you on the next one. Peace.